All right, guys, we're back at it again. A day after it has rained on this landscape, literally the day after we installed this installation for this drainage solution, it rains. And so this is a perfect opportunity for me to show you the effectiveness of our landscape drainage solutions. Now, as you can see, there's a tremendous amount of water that comes off of the back of that hillside. But guess what, guys? It's now going into this drain box. So we can see that there was a lot of water that went into this drain box. But more importantly, the water was able to be sucked up by the 4 to 8 inch type of rock. And as you can see, it is still a little wet, but that goes to show you that this rock does dry itself out pretty fast. The difference is understanding how wet this rock looks and then comparable to how wet a lot of this rock here looks. And so it's drying itself off in exceptional fashion. But in addition, we had a tremendous amount of water that was washing itself toward the bottom of this landscape from the weep holes on the retaining wall. So as you can see, all the areas where the pea gravel has actually gotten more beautiful, as you see here, this is where the water is actually moving up under the pea gravel, being sucked up, not being able to go into the bare dirt, but then finding its path to the least resistance of this drain box. Now, these are all designs that I come up with in order to make sure that we not only solve your landscape drainage problem, but that we do so in the most effective way. So here we are less than 8 hours after it's been raining. I think it just finished probably less than 4 hours ago. We tied this gutter downspout in as well as this one in order to ensure that there's no unnecessary water on the landscape. In addition, the water that was coming out of these weep holes, you can see, guys, this is where you're going to see a lot of the decorative gravel starting to turn into its natural color. And the way you understand that is the difference here in that it hasn't been wet at all, but this area has definitely been wet and still wet because that water is falling to the path of least resistance. But I can tell you this, I'm able to step on this landscape without any hesitation of wondering about getting muddy. But as you can also see, those weep holes are still dropping water. And as you can see, that water pattern of the discoloration of the decorative gravel, it just says that it's falling down to the path of least resistance and it's no longer being a muddy mud pit. So that's what we like to see right after a rain. But in addition to that, we also have an area where we were receiving a tremendous amount of water out of the weep holes of the retaining wall. And as you can see here, yes, that water still comes out, and yes, it is still moving to the path of least resistance. As you can tell based on the discoloration of this particular pea gravel, just lets you know that it's still moving. But guess where it's going, guys? It's going into our beautiful decorative dry creek bed that has absolutely transformed this landscape, because what it's now doing is allowing it to go down this dry creek bed into a drain box without interrupting the landscape. Before, this was a muddy mess. You could see the erosion patterns, and it was absolutely in desperate need of a landscape drainage solution. So what I came up with was a way in order to catch that water within this trench system that I built within the decorative gravel along with the decorative river rock. And now that water must move, as you see it doing right here. It must move through the path of least resistance, and it looks like it's coming in right here. But as it does so, guys, it's being sucked up by all of this rock that we got here. And in addition, this type of rock is very, very much necessary because it's 4 to 8 inches, and it's going to be able to provide you with enough sediment in order to suck up that water. But in the end, the water is still flowing down the path of least resistance. It's not being uninterrupted except by the decorative gravel and decorative river rock, which is sucking the water up, as well as the erosion control fabric that we have up under here so that that water doesn't go into the bare dirt. Now, then we're taking it into this drain box, guys, and we know the drain box work effectively because we can see the water in there, and it goes out to the back of the property almost 100 feet. This is a design that I came up with in order to make sure that we can give the customer the peace of mind and know that this was a design that was going to last a lifetime. And that's exactly what we've done on this landscape. And that's what we do each and every time you give us a call right here at Brooks Landscaping. We solve your landscape drainage problems. We give you an outdoor landscape solution that lasts a lifetime. But more importantly, we're here for you no matter what the cause. And so as we can see, the day after it's rained, I'm back out here on this landscape just to make sure that everything looks just as good as it did the day before it rained. And you can see the only difference is the discoloration of the decorative gravel, which has actually made it more beautiful as it's washed off a lot of the dirt and dust that was once on it. And so this design is one that's going to last a lifetime for the customer. It's going to give them the complete satisfaction in knowing that they can come out on their backyard even when it's raining and be able to occupy this space. But more importantly, their biggest concern was the amount of water that was coming off of the back of this retaining wall that's now going into this drain box. And as you can see, this is our wettest area on the landscape simply because that water is moving through the path of least resistance, but it's having a hard time doing so based on our design. So I just wanted to get back out here early this morning, right after it's got done raining, so I can show you exactly what we were able to do. But it does say for yourself, guys, if you're in a position, you're looking for a landscape drainage solution that's going to last a lifetime, you don't have to look any further than the professionals right here at Brooks Landscaping. We have exactly what you need when it comes to solving those landscape problems, and we do it in the most effective way. That's right, just 2.5 days this job took, and we did it without any hesitation once the customer was able to move forward. And that's what we do each and every time at Brooks Landscaping. So I'm going to take you through this dry creek bed one more time. As you can see, it meanders and turns. One of the reasons for that is so that we can slow that water down as it's actually moving through the dry creek bed. But these are all the things that we do. Now we're going to be coming back next week and putting in a lot of shrubs on this area here on the hillside. We're going to bring in some more pine straw. We did this as a compliment to the customer. We're also going to be bringing in some beautiful Zeon Zoysia sod in order to sod this particular area. But every single thing that you see here, guys, is a testament to the way in which we solve landscape drainage problems and why we become one of the highest rated landscape drainage companies around. And it's because we're focused on solving your landscape drainage problem, most importantly, but then on also giving you a solution that's going to last a lifetime. And that's by working with hardscapes, decorative gravel, river rock, similar things that you've seen happen on this landscape. Check out the before and after videos. You'll be absolutely amazed.